My name is Sam Alexandra Rose, and I have a genetic condition called CMMRD that makes it more likely to get different types of cancer. I've had 3 so far: bowel cancer at the age of 22 and duodenal and uterine cancer both at the age of 30. I've been cancer-free since the end of 2018, but that doesn't mean everything has been plain sailing. In some ways, it's easier when I do have cancer. I know that's a ridiculous thing to say, but when you have cancer, I find that people make allowances for you. They listen, they carry your bags, they expect you to be upset. You can lean into your feelings in a way that feels less acceptable than when you've had the all clear and are going for checkups. If people expect you to stay positive during cancer, the expectation is doubled when you don't have it. Because of course everything's going to be fine. Of course you don't have to worry. In some ways, it's easier to live in the certain than in the in-between and unknown, even if the certainty is cancer. When you have cancer, everyone generally knows it's hard. They don't know exactly how difficult it is if they haven't been through it themselves. But you don't often feel the need to prove how hard it is, because it's so obvious. When you don't have cancer, it's a different story. Everyone assumes it's easier, or they forget altogether. Or when you say you're going for a checkup or a scan or a procedure like a gastroscopy, that's all they hear. That you're having a routine checkup, quick trip to the hospital to make sure everything's still fine, which they think of course it will be. What they don't see from the outside is the effect that fear of recurrence can have. They don't feel your stomach lurch as the phone rings, or the familiar letter with the window on the envelope and the recycled paper inside lands on the doormat. They don't hear your racing thoughts as you sit at your desk at work with a spreadsheet in front of you that you just can't concentrate on when there's an appointment looming, with memories of doctors and hospital gowns flashing in your mind's eye instead of the numbers you're meant to be working on. They don't feel the dread that washes over you when you merely think of riding that familiar route that leads you to the hospital. They don't imagine what you imagine: the bed, the ward, getting into the curled lying down position, having the sedation, tasting that banana flavoured throat spray, feeling the mouth guard between your teeth, gagging as they put the camera down your throat, and then coming around feeling woozy, and while you're still woozy, hearing, maybe, that they found something. Hearing that they've taken a biopsy, it's marked urgent, that it might be cancer again. People don't realise that that's the situation your mind immediately jumps to. They don't realise that you have to then actively coax yourself into imagining a brighter outcome. You have to tell yourself to instead imagine that when you come around after the procedure, the doctor says everything looks fine. People don't realise that even if the good outcome does happen, you've still had to go through the physical and mental ordeal that comes before, the imagining and the doing and the waiting. Because if you don't have cancer, none of this is obvious. If you're okay physically, then you're okay mentally. If you don't have cancer, of course you're fine.